We be live. Hello, Durud and Shalom. My name is Armin Navabi.
And I'm Ali Sawani. We are your Iran experts. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the brink of war between Turkey and Israel, who are weighing their options on strikes against each other. We also have a lot of things that are happening in the Islamic Republic. The officials are coming out, they're making their positions known, and we are going most definitely back to an escalation imminently here. The Islamic Republic cannot afford to sit back and watch their economy get destroyed more than it already is. IRGC generals have come out and said we have doubled, tripled our production of missiles and drones recently in preparation for a upcoming warfare. We must break the siege that the Americans are conducting on us. And these sanctions that the United States is going to impose on us is nothing that we haven't dealt with before. Starting off with that particular statement from the foreign minister of the Islamic Republic. He has come out and said that back in 2012 and 2014 and all these different countries, all these different years, the United States has imposed maximum sanctions. You have Barack Obama saying the same thing years ago, along with Trump in his first term, and none of them resulted in the overthrowing of the Islamic Republic. So why would this time be any different, is what he is saying. That's the foreign minister. The president of the Islamic Republic says we have to end the war now. We got to negotiate and end this while we still have a position of strength. While a few other people, like the parliament speaker and other generals, are not allowing Persian Gulf Arab countries to get a moment of rest. Yeah, you have senior advisors to the supreme leader saying that all airports in the Middle East should be prepared to evacuate imminently, and etc. The economy is in absolute shambles, and we have some information regarding the port situation, the pricing situation, and oil for the Islamic Republic, which is not doing good at all. And do you guys remember the immigrants in Spain, the one that invaded the border? We have an update for that, and we have Ali Graham's section as well, like usual. So let's start with Iran today, before we get into Turkey and Israel, which is the second biggest piece of news. So, ladies and gentlemen, Iran. A couple things have happened. Here is the parliament speaker of the Islamic Republic who visited Iraq. And it turns out we were right. He said it himself. He discussed Iran and Iraq security issues. He was trying to persuade al-Zaidi, the prime minister, to take a more pro-IRGC position. And then he also spoke to the Iraqi, he called them groups. Well, we all know those are the terrorist militias backed by the IRGC. And he ends off his interview here saying, of course, we don't want to interfere with any Iraqi internal issues. Of course, we don't want to do that. Right. Absolutely. Whatever you say, buddy. And
so
the most important thing.
What the deal? Did we discuss?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't do that. Yeah. Okay. What was
yeah.
The deal
So
we had for the Iraqis?
The most important thing here is that Ghalibaf is saying, no matter how much military power we have, as in the Islamic Republic, if our people are hungry and we have no financial, economy growth or production or anything like that, we're not going to endure. So we value peace more than those who merely talk about it, which is the Americans. He's taking a pro-negotiation phase again, which suggests to me that he is trying to put himself as the face of the negotiation front from here on out. What do you think?
So he came with apparently he came with a deal. He came with a suggestion to the Iraqis. Did you hear about, because he was in Iraq to try to stop the proxy groups of the Islamic Republic being disarmed. That is why he's there. Because if that happens, the Islamic Republic is going to lose Iraq. If the Islamic Republic loses Iraq, it's game over for them. It's game over, right? Like, what else do you have left? You had the Strait of Hormuz, which is the Strait of Hormuz was supposed to be the Islamic Republic's deterrence against the United States. It ended up being the other way around. It has now turned into United States deterrence against the Islamic Republic, right? So instead of United States trying to find ways around the Strait of Hormuz, now it's the Islamic Republic trying to find ways around the Strait of Hormuz, which is really ironic, right? So that didn't work out. Hitting the infrastructure of the Arab countries, that seems to be a very big taboo to break, because as soon as they do that, it opens the door for United States to hit, power plants, right? So that is like they want to do that, but they're scared of the consequences of that. So it's just the proxies. Hezbollah is occupied trying to not die. The Houthis are not as effective. They're busy also not dying. So it's just the Hashd Shabi groups. So if they get disarmed, it's game over. So that's why Ghalibaf is in Iraq trying to stop the Iraqi government from disarming the proxy groups, the terrorist proxy groups. And you know what offer he had, Ghalibaf, for the Iraqis? The offer was, if you need to disarm this Shia proxy groups, we'll take the guns. The Islamic Republic will hold on to the guns, give it to us, so that we could give them back to them when all of this is over. Which we argued, like, why would the Iraqis listen to you if that's the offer? The Iraqi government is very interested right now to make the President Trump happy. So why on earth, like, what do you have for the Iraqi government for them to even consider this? And I don't know, Ali, I'm going to ask you, because we thought about it, and I came up with this, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I thought, like, if I was Ghalibaf, when I go to Iraq, this would be my leverage. This is what I would use. I would tell them, now listen, Saudi Arabia attacked Hashd Shabi in Iraq, right? Hashd Shabi wants to go and respond to Saudis. We are the ones who are holding them back. You're trying to stop Iraq from getting into more wars. If Hashd Shabi goes and attacks Saudi Arabia, now you're trying to get Iran out. You're trying to get U.S. out, U.S. investment in, U.S. military out. But what if Hashd Shabi brings Saudi Arabia in? Like, isn't that a nightmare scenario? So the only one, if I was Ghalibaf, I would be like, look, Hashd Shabi wants to use Iraqi ground to attack Saudi Arabia in response to their attacks, and I'm the only one who could hold them back. This would be the only leverage that I could think of that he could put on the table.
I thought the same thing, but my question is, why him? Why not Ghani, the actual foreign commander of the proxies, come and say this to them?
Ghani was there, right, for a long time, trying to do this, right? He was there. But Ghani is okay. So that's a great question. I think Ghani would be considered Hashd Shabi's boss, right? So Ghani would be the representative of Hashd Shabi. So he for the Ali Zaidi, that would be the bad cop. Ghalibaf could come in as the good cop and be like, listen, these people they really want to go use Iraqi soil to attack Saudi Arabia. Okay, but like, I'm the only one. I'm the good, basically I think they're good cop, bad cop. Like, I didn't think about it until you asked me, but I think Ghani would be too much on the Hashd Shabi side, because I see.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. That answers my question perfectly. Okay, sweet. So guys, if you didn't get that, Saudi Arabia just signed a defense pact with Turkey and Pakistan, right? So if they get attacked, that's going to drag a bunch of countries into war. The PMF in Iraq, the IRGC proxy, want to get revenge on Saudi Arabia. The IRGC are saying, hey, Iraq, we might let them do it. We might not be able to control them unless you make a deal with us, the IRGC. So what's happening right here? As per usual, Iraq is caught in the middle of absolutely everything. And we even have statements like this coming out. So this is another statement by the Islamic Republic that was made today. And what they're saying is we cannot let the Arabs build pipelines that go around the Strait of Hormuz. First of all, who are you to say that? They're their own countries. They can do whatever they want on their own land. But he's saying, and this is a very favorable position in the Islamic Republic at the moment. If we let the Arabs build pipelines and they go around the Strait of Hormuz, we weaken our position, and then the Americans are going to come for us after we're weakened. So we got to stop them doing that. Except it's a little bit difficult. These pipelines are built underground for a reason. Armin, how audacious can you
Oh my
possibly
God.
be to say this?
I heard this interview. It's insane. He says if the Arab countries build pipelines that go around the Strait of Hormuz, we see that as them throwing a missile at us, throwing missiles at us, and that has to be responded with missiles. The audacity. So he's saying that if we make the Strait of Hormuz insecure and these Arab countries decide to build pipelines in their own country to find another way to sell their own oil, that would be considered an attack on us, like a military attack on us, and we have to respond to them. This would be them supporting the Americans and an attack on us, and it needs to be responded to militarily.
But that's serious. I mean, what he's saying sounds ridiculous, guys, but it's absolutely true. They're going to have to do something about this soon. And then the president, okay, so this is according to the own Islamic Republic state media, and this is true. Pezeshkian has a position that he's had for a while. He says we should end the war now. The president of the Islamic Republic, end the war now, while we still hold a position of strength and the world recognizes the Islamic Republic's victory. The only people who recognize the victory of the Islamic Republic are the Western propaganda spheres, like CNN or BBC. The position of strength, though, he does have a point, because if he doesn't end the war now, it's going to get way worse for them. This is the strongest they're actually ever going to be right now, as bad as it is. It's only going to get worse from here. Why would America come and negotiate with you, Pezeshkian? They signed an MOU with you. You broke every single clause of it. Why now that you're losing every single day that goes by? A lot of people are estimating that the Islamic Republic is now losing $800 million. During the blockade, it was $500 million. Now it's $800 million after the events of 2 days ago with the UAE imports stopping to come in and stuff. I don't see any way for them to get out of this mess in the short term, which is why Pezeshkian and Khatami and all these people in the Islamic Republic are coming out right now, Armin, saying we gotta deal. We gotta make a deal with these guys because we have no choice. We have to.
Well, they're right. They have 3 to 4 months, right? 3 to 4 months, because people think they're watching what's happening in Iran and they're like, oh my God, this is really bad. This is nothing. Apparently, based on what I'm hearing from the analysts, this is nothing compared to what's about to happen in 3 to 4 months, because all of this nightmare is happening while the Islamic Republic still has revenue from the tankers that are already out there, right? So there are still a whole bunch of tankers, much less than before, that are already outside of the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, that are like around like east of Malaysia, close to China, and the teapot refineries, Chinese teapot refineries, are still buying them slower than before, but they're buying them. But the reason why that is available for buying is because they've already passed. They're there, okay, and they're finding ways to sell some of the money to the Islamic Republic, and they're still being bought out. Okay, that is going to last the Islamic Republic another 3 to 4 months. When that finishes, it's going to go to zero, and then the crap is going to hit the fan big time. And this is what these people are terrified about right now.
And that's already begun, Armin. That has actually already begun. What you just said, guys, all that oil that was sitting on the ocean, the Iranian oil, is now actually being bought up much faster than before. And something really weird happened this week. We just got the numbers for it. So a week ago, Iranian light crude oil traded at a $3.50 discount. Now it's trading at a $3.50 premium. That's a $7 shift in 1 week. It was selling at a discount. Now it's selling at a premium. What does that mean? Well, I took a look at the amount of barrels that are available for Iranian crude oil that's just sitting around, the Asian Pacific Ocean. It used to be 100 million barrels before the blockade came back on the second time. Okay, so that was about mid-July, about a month ago, exactly a month ago. They had 100 million barrels. Right now, it's about 80 million. So in this 1 month, China just started bumping up its demand for oil, and it just bought up 20 million barrels of oil in this past 30 days. Now, they're actually increasing their demand again. China's trying to scoop up all this oil, and it's buying it so fast that the Islamic Republic is now charging, instead of a discount, extra for China to buy it. That's crazy. That means one thing. This oil will be bought down to the last barrel soon. And they know that. There's no more oil coming out. Everything that you guys see sitting on the ocean right now, that's it. There's no more coming. China's buying as much of it as it possibly can to store it. That's it. Smaller Asian countries like Myanmar, Vietnam, they're struggling with oil right now. They're getting bullied out, priced out by China. So what Armin's saying is already beginning. And that money that the Islamic Republic is going to get from this 80 million barrels left is something that now is going to be cut off. Scott Bessent took all this time, watched what banks are working around these sanctions and etc. A lot of Chinese banks, in my opinion, are going to get targeted here. And if they don't, then we know that the United States is not serious whatsoever when it says this is economic D-Day. And then, Armin, the deputy for the Islamic Republic's Organization of Energy Optimization and Strategic Management. Guys, these guys just make up departments and just put as much titles and names on them as possible. It's just whatever. Anyway, the energy deputy of the Islamic Republic just said today, our gasoline reserves in Iran have reached a very critical point. Their status is deep red. Daily gasoline consumption in the Islamic Republic reached 135 million liters this month. So the past month in Iran, the past 30 days, 135 million. The refinery production in Iran is about 110 million. Keep in mind, that was last month. It's worse now. So every day they were 20 million short, and it's just getting way worse. Every single day, guys, there are 20 million liters of gasoline short in the country. Last month, by the way. It's way worse now. The lines are longer, and it's just getting absolutely worse. And they can't import any of this because of the blockade. Which begs
When are
one
they going to
question.
run out?
Exactly, which begs one question. Here's how we can find out when they run out. As soon as they start putting their actions where their words are, you know that a month from there or 2 months from there, they're going to run out completely, and they're completely screwed because they should be acting faster. They're not going to wait till the last second, obviously. And yeah, Armin, for months, the regime and its Western propaganda said they were winning. But then the economic damage that we cover for you guys tells the complete opposite story. The Islamic Republic exports no oil, which is its biggest source of revenue. Billions of dollars of its funds are still frozen, regardless of anyone who said they got them. They didn't. They admitted it themselves they didn't get anything. So without oil revenue or their billions of assets frozen up, they have no money to pay their bills. They have no money to pay their workers who fund the government, like doctors, nurses, everything. They can't finance imports, which are 30% gone now because of the UAE. They can't even stabilize their currency. And then most importantly, they can't pay the IRGC or the proxies. That's going to get worse. They're already struggling economically. They're losing their oil lifeline by the day. The oil reserves that they have on the ocean are being bought up by China at the moment. The money might not get back to them because of Scott Bessent. It's on a timer. Things have to happen sooner or later just because of pure math, pure numbers here. Close those out. So, what are some of the indicators that we could look at?
Oh, what is it?
Well, escalation is one.
Yeah. Or do you want to see what this guy? There was a suggestion. Let me know when I want me to show that. Somebody said, did you see this video?
We said this last week on our show, actually, but then we never found the clip. So perfect. Can you show us?
Yes. Okay. So
this is their plan, guys.
This is okay. This is their plan. Okay, look at this.
یه 4 تا مینای پیشرفته ببریم همه چیز ما میتونیم انجام بدیم در کل.
Like we could get 4 very advanced mines, sea mines, and we could, and then he interrupts himself. Like, listen, we could do whatever we want. Okay.
دنیا محور مقاومت داریم، عملیات کننده داریم.
We have the people from the axis of resistance everywhere in the world. Like we have operatives everywhere in the world.
ببریم تو مثلا خلیج جای مختلف، خلیج فلوریدا.
Like we could the Gulf of Florida. Okay, so he says we could take some mines in the Gulf of Florida.
یک دو خلیج دیگه هم داره.
And they have a few other gulfs. We could put some mines there.
ببرید اونجا یکم حال کنه اینم.
Like let's show them some good time. Let's take some mines to the Gulfs around America and just make sure that they have some good time.
بالاخره 2 ماه چون مین سخته خنثی کردن پیدا کردن.
Because mines are very difficult to find them and stuff.
آب جریان داره. بعد همش مین رو آب نیست، مین زیر آب داره.
Like we have different types of mines. We have mines that are on top of the water, mines that are under the water.
یکم الاف شن. چون اینا دستگاه
Like let's make them busy finding our mines over there.
مین روب ندارم. جوکه.
Because they don't have devices that can find the mines.
تنگری که ولش کن. من دارم راجع به فلوریدا حرف میزنم.
Like forget the Strait of Hormuz. I'm talking about Florida.
الان بعد جدی میگم. شما
Like I'm being serious. The other host was like, wow, laughing, and he's like, no, I'm being serious.
مینای هوشمند تو smart mines.
Like, oh, smart mines. Like we have smart mines, not dumb mines, smart mines.
smart ها تو بفرست. نمیخواد زیادا.
Like you can send our mines over there. It doesn't need to be that many.
5-6 تا تو بنداز.
5 or 6 mines.
آدم داری همه هر جا این دو.
Like we have the people there that could do this for us.
دنیا بخوای عملیات کنیم.
Like all around the world, we have people that could do this for us.
بذار یکم او بفهمه حالا.
Let them understand. Let the Americans understand.
پروژه ترسو. میدونی
So the fear project, let's make them scared of it.
اون تنگه استراتژیکیه ها. بس.
I like Tange. Like there's a very strategic strait. Which strait around the U.S.?
استراتژیکیه ها. بسته بشه.
I think he's like, I don't think there's a strait around the United States. Like they have a strategic strait, and we could close it. What?
ولو یه ماه. ولو 20.
Just for 1 month.
روز. 2 ماه.
No such thing.
1 month. 20 days. 2 months.
مصیبت میکشن.
Oh, it's going to be very hard for them.
یعنی میخوام بگم راهکار زیاد داری و بعد
Like we have so many things we
اینا
could
رو انجامم بدی.
and we have to do them. You know what? Please do. Please try. Like what the hell? Like wait, what guys, what Americans in the chat, what strait do you have that this guy wants to mine? What is he talking about? He says there's a Gulf of Florida and he wants to put mines there, and you guys have a strategic strait that they could close? I'm confused.
Maybe Alaska? Maybe? I don't know.
Okay. Hey, like you close my strait, I close your strait.
Smart minds.
Yeah. No, he's not talking about the Panama Canal. He's talking about a strait. He didn't say canal. He said strait. Iran, and also around the United States, not around Panama. So I don't know what he's talking about.
So guys, Armin, by the way, I found a report by the Islamic Republic
Okay.
here about shipping. So I put this, I'll tell you what this says. So this is the Islamic Republic themselves, and they're saying bringing cargo is no longer what it used to be. It's very difficult now. So if you want to bring cargo, you actually have to send it from China to Dubai, then Dubai to Oman, and then Oman to Bandar Abbas to Iran. Okay, that's the process. The war made this worse. So now you can expect if you order something like cargo or something from China, it will now take about 5 to 6 months to complete this process. China, UAE, Oman, Oman to Iran. And then this is from 3 days ago, by the way. And then they're saying, we don't know. This was 1 day before the UAE announced it's cutting off everything. They're saying we don't know why the UAE is doing this, but we actually just received news from the UAE that they're not going to send us cargo anymore. And they're actually not going to allow cargo to be sent to Oman either so that we can get it. And then boom, hours later, the UAE comes out, says we cut off all financial ties with the Islamic Republic. And then they're saying that our market activists are basically our people are in contact with Chinese traders, and they're also halting their shipments to us now because it's just too expensive. Like we can't do business with you guys anymore. Then they're saying our cargo that's stuck in Dubai is no longer going to Oman, so it's just sitting there now indefinitely, and we don't know how long this situation will continue.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So that's the situation right now in terms of shipping for the Islamic Republic. Again, not me saying this. This is them. This is their reports. And it's just going to get a whole lot worse again.
Ali, it's so crazy that the area that the Islamic Republic for so many years thought that this is the leverage they have against the world. And again, so many Western analysts are lying to you. They're telling like, oh, the Islamic Republic discovered that it has the Strait of Hormuz as leverage. No, you idiots. They have been planning for this. They have been telling us that this is what they're going to do for decades. That, oh, if it ever comes to this, we have the Strait of Hormuz. We could close the Strait of Hormuz. And for decades, they thought that this is the trump card that they have that they could devastate the whole world with. And it's so ironic. I can't get over this. That their winning card ended up being their Achilles heel. It ended up being their own kryptonite. The thing that they were supposed to use against the whole world is now being used against them.
They suck. Also, Turkey just ended a 25-year oil and gas agreement with the Islamic Republic of Iran today. Oof. Looks like Turkey doesn't want to get slapped with sanctions and tariffs either. They're like, hey, we had this deal since like 2001. No more. Bye-bye. Sorry, Islamic Republic. We're not in this anymore.
Wow. Wait, say that one more time, but slowly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Turkey has now ended a 25-year gas contract with the Islamic Republic of Iran today.
Oh my God.
The capital of Turkey, Ankara, released a statement today. They said, we now enjoy more supply options and dealing with Tehran is a risk. RIP.
Wow.
And they're right. They're going to get all their oil and gas from Iraq, which is actually a problem for the Iraqis. So what ended up happening today is Iraq's foreign minister went to Saudi Arabia, and the reason was to ask Saudi Arabia if they can up their oil production. They're like, Father, please let us make more oil and sell it. I mean, these guys are just getting the short end of the straw wherever they go, I think. Yeah, we'll show that in just a bit. So, oh man,
The pressure
exciting. What I
must
wanna show
be
you guys
so
here.
much.
Yeah.
Ali,
Yeah.
the pressure must be so much that Turkey is doing this. Like everybody is abandoning them. They're completely alone.
Yeah. And guys, why is all this happening? Well, it happened because mainly of a ship like this called the USS Abraham Lincoln. And as you guys can see in this picture, it's heading away from us. So it's now officially heading back to San Diego. It's going to arrive in about 5 to 6 weeks. It has left and it has not stayed around to linger. Instead, the USS George Washington has instead took its place and is now fully operational. It's actually also spotted about, I think it was about 250 miles off the coast of the Islamic Republic, putting it well into drone and missile range. But it's there and it's showing itself. This is footage that CENTCOM released a few hours ago of the USS George Washington, claiming that they are at full peak operational readiness. This is the reason why the Islamic Republic is suffocating. There is nothing they can do, and this is the power of an aircraft carrier. Sit a few hundred miles off the coast of a country, target all of its ships. What are they going to do about it? That's how warfare has been for hundreds of years. Nothing's really changed. So, we have so much good stuff for you guys today. Okay, right before we get into Turkey and all of them, I'm going to put some salt in the wound real quick. A few days ago, we told you how the Somalian pirates were a bit active. Right here, okay, in between Oman and Yemen, 6 Somalian pirates took fate into their own hands. They seized a tanker called Cebu 1. They boarded it Thursday, okay? The last transmitted message from Cebu 1 was, in all caps, "Pirates on board, help." That was it. The ship was then rerouted to Somalia and is now currently being held ransom. Who owns this ship, you might ask? The Islamic Republic. This is one of their shadow fleet tankers. Somalian pirates have taken a IRGC oil tanker hostage and are demanding ransoms from it. First of all, the stupidity of the Somalian pirates is unmatched. How is the Islamic Republic going to give you money? They don't have any. And second, you probably don't want to. I mean, they got nothing to lose, really. That's just, you're just not going to get money for it. That's really it.
But Ali, imagine that the Islamic Republic in the middle of all of this chaos, like Israel, United States, potential uprising, not getting their revenue, everything, not being able to pay for their proxies. And in the middle of all this chaos, like somebody comes into your office and like, sir, like, what is it? What is it? And like, Somali pirates stole our ship. And like, wait, what now? Somali pirates stole one of our tankers. Like, yeah, that was what was missing in the middle of all this. Like, god damn it! It's like that's what is. No, stop. Why is everything going against us? Somalis are going against us.
Even the Somalian pirates are going against the Islamic Republic. And you know what? Okay, in one hand, it's smart because you're like, okay, that ship is completely vulnerable. If I take it, no one's going to come after me. But at the same time, you're not going to get any money for a ransom because they don't have any money to pay you. But quick fact, the Somalian pirates were active only 5 times in all of 2025, seizing 5 ships. In 2026, in this past 8 months and a half, they've attacked 13 already. So they're upping their game here, which makes sense. There's more chaos in the region. They're taking advantage of it. And the Cebu 1 was sanctioned by the United States last year as being part of the shadow fleet of the Islamic Republic. That's something you can look up yourselves, just so we all know. All right, let's go into Saudi Arabia. Let's go into the facility of Jazan. Jazan was hit again. Yeah, so this place is being hit like left, right, and center. The Saudi Arabians keep claiming that no damage has occurred on their facilities, but if we just take a look at the satellite imagery, black char marks on the storage tanks here. These are massive storage tanks, by the way. One of them is completely destroyed. The other one's out of commission. And then over here as well, you can see another one was added on the top right today. The Houthis are ramping up their attacks, but they're getting bogged down by the Saudi militias. And I wish I could show you the footage of it. I just don't think we can show you. They're being very effective. But now the Houthis themselves have gotten quadcopter drones and are dropping mortar shells onto Saudi tanks. M1 Abrams tanks that the Saudis bought from the US are getting blown up left, right, and center today by the Yemeni Houthis. They're fighting back. And Yemen is in a full-blown civil war. To cover their own butts, the United States government has approved a deal to sell 4 KC-46A refueling tankers to Qatar. This is worth $4.5 billion. They will also get warning radars and additional surveillance equipment, and in terms of a protection deal, it's already approved by the U.S. State Department there. And then another country just down the coast from Qatar has finished, finally, they finished their drone protection. If you guys remember, if you were watching the show about 3 months ago, we showed you that the United Arab Emirates began constructing cages around their oil tanks near Dubai. Looks like they finished it. Looks pretty complete. Yeah, that's their best defense. But also they bought a lot of, Patriot missile interceptors and etc. I would say they're pretty good to go, and they're going to anticipate launching, they're going to anticipate a huge strike on them. I think the Islamic Republic is going to empty hundreds of drones and missiles on the UAE once again in the future. We'll see if it stops it.
That's pretty effective against drones. Not against missiles, but against drones, it's very effective.
Yeah. Yeah. And before we get into our Alligram section, we'll get to our Alligram section, then we'll go into Israel and Turkey. They're pretty much on the brink of war. Israel is researching how not to trigger Clause 5 of NATO if they were to attack Turkey, and they're weighing their options here. And there's a video I'll show you guys about that. For now, before we get into Alligrams, let's look at the Islamic Republic analysts running their mouths. Okay, wait. Here. In the beginning 5 seconds, guys. We'll translate just the 5 seconds.
برای آمریکایی‌ها قبر آماده کردید برای متجاوزای آمریکایی؟
یه 5000 تا قبر
کجا؟
بیابونای اطراف تهران آماده.
The host asks this Basij, this IRGC, he asks him, who, by the way, is a director of a public cemetery, okay? The host asks him, have you prepared graves for the Americans? And the IRGC guy says, yeah, we actually dug 5,000 graves in the deserts near Tehran for the Americans. That's called running your mouth, buddy. And that's running your mouth a little too much. Once again, this guy's going on a list and he's getting bumped up a few more there. Let's keep an eye for, what was his name? Put his name right there. Mohammad Javad Tajik. All right, let's keep an eye on him. If he comes up on any lists in a few months from now, we'll see.
Imagine in the middle of all of this, Ali, in the middle of all of this economic chaos, you're busy digging 5,000 graves in the middle of a desert because you're so confident that you're going to kill Americans. that you are just pre-planning what are we going to do with their bodies. So they went and dug 5,000 graves just so that they're prepared for the Americans that they're going to kill.
Yep.
Too much time on your hand.
That's definitely running your mouths. And guys, they did actually do this. This guy spent his time doing that. So let's get started with our Alligram section. Guys, this section is where I go into the IRGC group chats, grab their messages that are indicative of the mood the regime supporters, and I'll show you guys. The first one is comparing the Islamic Republic to the Soviet Union. One of the regime supporters says, "We are exactly like the Soviet Union before it collapsed. The American dream of the people, the love of the state, the economy is exploding." Okay, that end part is actually a little bit off for the translations. Can you read that second line for us, please?
رویای آمریکایی مردم عشق لواطی اقتصاد ترکیده عشق مذاکره آقایون وفاقی. Okay, so basically, I think he said, I don't know what the word is, but I think he's saying that the dream of the Americans are, oh yeah, so there is people who are in love with degeneracy. So this is all of America's dream of coming true. We have a country with people that are interested in degeneracy. Our economy is destroyed, and people are in love with negotiation, and we have people in charge who are basically want to try to compromise to the Americans.
Yeah.
This is the situation we're in, just like the Soviet before the collapse. You know what? The Soviets had nukes. You don't have nukes. So there's a big difference. They collapsed. The Soviet Union collapsed under economic pressure while they had nukes. So you don't even have that. So good luck, I guess.
Yeah. Armin, don't focus on the small details like nukes or not nukes. Their situation is largely the same. And then we'll have the second one for you guys. This is a increasing rhetoric, one that was already existing, but it's coming back on the limelight. So Farce News, which is the IRGC state media, they posted the Russians are testing a giant nuclear submarine, et cetera, et cetera. And then that has sparked a lot of discussion over the past day, a couple of days, that regime supporters are saying, wait, why don't we do that? The only way to escape this situation and the only way to avoid war is to build an atomic bomb and announce it to the world. And then if they continue to be aggressive towards us, we're going to test that bomb in Israel. Cinema.
This guy.
Nowhere else will you ever be able to find things like this. This is one of the only countries in the world that will openly discuss this on political discussions. We need to test nuclear weapons on Israel. We need to build nuclear bombs. We need to do it. That's the only way we'll escape war.
It doesn't say use nuclear bomb on Israel. Guys, this is such a good way to show you that the goal is the United States, right? Because it doesn't say we need a nuclear bomb so we could use it on Israel. It says we need to test our bomb on Israel because the goal is United States.
And take a look at this one, Armin. Let's take a look at this one. At the same time that they want to build nukes and they want to dig 5,000 graves in the desert for American soldiers, the regime supporters themselves are realizing that something has quietly happened in Iran that is scarier than inflation. People are erasing the future from their plans. They are not planning a trip for next year. They're not planning a baby in the next few years. They're not even planning to buy furniture. Inflation has not only raised prices, it has shortened the calendar of life. Yet, that's something that they realize themselves. And again, I only see messages like this from regime supporters in the last couple of weeks when the economic hardships have reached even them. People who were generally a bit more well off because they've been siphoning off and stealing the money of the Iranian people. Even they are realizing, oh my God, now it's changing. Do you know why this pisses me off? Is because this has not been just the past few months for the Iranian people. This has been a reality for many decades, for many people. The fact that they're saying this now, they're reaching the suffering that the Iranian people had decades ago, just now. That's how good they had it. Let's take a look at this one. This one you're going to enjoy. In fact, can you read this in Farsi? Because this is more for you. I want you to read this so you can enjoy it.
Okay, thank you. من قبلا فکر می‌کردم سلطنت طلبان خارج نشین احمق و متوهم هستند. ولی از وقتی با پدیده کامنت خوانی آشنا شدم فهمیدم ارزش‌های طرفدار جمهوری اسلامی خیلی 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 احمق‌تر و متوهم‌تر از سلطنت طلبان خارج نشین هستند. All right. So this guy who is a jihadi pro-Islamic regime person, he's saying, I used to think that Iranian monarchists who live outside of Iran are delusional and stupid, right? But, oh yeah, there we go. But since I became familiar with the phenomenon of reading comments, I realized that this is a thing I could do, basically. I realized that the values, well, actually go to the Persian because the English translation is wrong. Yeah.
The regime supporters. Oh.
So he's saying Arzashia means the jihadis, like the people who are ideological. But ever since I started reading comments, I realized that the supporters, that the jihad, like Islamic supporters of the regime, are much, much, much more stupid and delusional than the monarchists, the diaspora monarchist people. Okay.
Yeah. So we got the spectrum of the jihadis who support the Islamic Republic.
Right. So he says our people. Here, like, this is why we can't have nice things. He's saying our people are dumber. Like, he's reading the comments from the people on his own side, and he's like, you guys are so dumb. We deserve what's happening to us. Right?
And
like
this
guy in the chat, like this Jew hater in the chat saying, I love jihad. That's what he's talking about. This comment is about
talking
him.
About you.
Yeah, he's talking about you. Oh wait, somebody's
so that's the rift that we're seeing. We talked about this so much. There's the Islamic supporters of the regime, then there's the government supporters of the Islamic Republic. Like the hardcore Durkas, then you have the Durkas that support the government. And the people who support the government are vastly unpopular right now. This is what that person's referring to. Let's take a look at the next one. What does this person have to say to us? Oh no, it's another regime supporter. All right, let's see what his plan is to get out of this. Saying, why doesn't the Islamic Republic do anything? Does our government want to stay under siege? Now is the time to strike every ship in the Strait of Hormuz and the Sea of Oman, even ships from Arab countries, because they all want to destroy us, so we must react. Do it, please. Put this guy in charge of the IRGC Navy right now. Please, hit every ship. Everything you see, just hit it. See what happens. And our next one here. If you guys remember, the central bank head of the Islamic Republic came out a couple of days ago and said, we're screwed, basically. He said, we're not making any money. We didn't get any frozen assets. I can't do anything as the head of the central bank because I don't have money to work with. It's all going down. And he's getting a lot of flack for that. His goal was to say all that and say, so we need to go towards a negotiation. So some people pushed him up on the stage and they're like, hey, say that. So you get all the flack. The regime supporters talked about it. And they're saying the fact that the head of our central bank came to an interview and said that we're not selling any oil and we don't have any dollars, that's laying the groundwork for the next step in the surrender process. Khatami, who's an ex-president and he's trying to be like pro-negotiation right now, Khatami and others have also come in with all their might to justify this surrender. We will probably soon hear the words, "There is nothing that can be done, and we must come to terms with it," from various aspects of the Islamic Republic, loud and clear and in unison. But with these difficult conditions of the siege, there are alternative operational solutions, and a significant part can be compensated if they want. This is a regime supporter who realizes that they're heading towards negotiations with the Islamic Republic, but is trying to say that's not our only option. What's their other option, Armin, instead of coming to the negotiating table?
Bomb everything in sight.
Yeah. And that'll just make everything worse.
Well, it can't get worse than this. Right. It's really bad.
So remember when I told you guys that the Islamic Republic isn't reporting on how Trump said he's going to conduct economic D-Day on the Islamic Republic? They're not reporting that. They're actually whitewashing it in their own words and making it seem a lot downplayed. Then another person is saying the normalization of the blockade at home will lead to the birth of a new tool for creating divisions within the country. And this will engineer future elections in Iran, which will create a bipolar blockade removal axis. Okay. So they're saying that pretty much what's going to happen now is that the next elections for the presidency and officials will be centered around remove the blockade or not remove the blockade. Those are going to be the two polarizing groups here. Basically, if we don't want to remove the blockade, that means negotiation with America. Remove the blockade means go to war with all the countries in the Middle East and try to escalate things. So they're waking up and realizing that they're consistently making the wrong decisions, which has led them to this, dead end here, lose-lose situation. The second part of the message is just, hey, past elections were about, sanctions, hijab, things like that. But now we're going to be talking about blockade or not blockade. That's generally the discussions that are taking place within the Islamic Republic. And that ends the allogram section. You close these out. Isn't it interesting, Armin, that these people are saying they're laying the groundworks for negotiations? Khatami's come out, Hemmati's come out and said this, How are they going to come to the negotiating table with America and say, hey, remove the blockade? With what leverage does the Islamic Republic have? The only threat that they can say to the United States is, hey, if you don't remove the blockade, we'll just hit everyone. That's it. Is there anything else?
But if they do that, they know that will remove the taboo and then open the door for the United States to come and hit power plants. Here's one leverage, the ultimate leverage that the Islamic Republic has that could offer to the Americans that they will accept. Honestly, like if we keep going this way, I mean, I'm not saying what President Trump is going to do, but if I was the Americans, there's one thing that the Islamic Republic could give me: absolute and total surrender, completely bending the knee. That, like, we're getting to such a devastating situation for the Islamic Republic that would be the only thing they could put on the table that would be meaningful. I'm not sure if the Americans are going to go for that. I hope they're going to go for that and nothing else. But if we keep going this way, it's either just collapse, they keep resisting and collapse internally, or they will bring Khatami as a way to talk to them. And the only thing the Americans should accept is absolute and total surrender.
That's that one position. Here's the other position, ladies and gentlemen. The other position is this. This is the Ministry of Defense spokesperson for the Islamic Republic. Came out today and said we doubled, tripled our production of some missile and drone components. Our production volume in the past 7 months increased twofold in terms of weapons and defense. I mean, why would a country increase its production of weapons? Why does it usually do that?
They're, I mean, to use them, to use because they don't have the to increase the deterrence capability and increase their leverage and pressure points that they could bring to the negotiating table as a way to show that they have some leverage there. But the problem is that it's not working right now.
No.
Yeah.
But this person isn't bluffing. What they say, it might not actually be twofold, for example, but the IRGC have constructed new facilities, new missile cities. They're beginning the construction of those. They're beginning construction of more plants to produce missile parts and drone components. They're rebuilding all of these at an alarming rate. All their money is going towards that. And actually, through satellite images, Shin posted today such a facility being constructed near Tehran today, citing that the construction began 90 days ago. At the same time, Donald Trump has said this today as he was on the tarmac about the Islamic Republic.
He's well into it, the land areas. So they would love to make a deal, but they're not ready to make the right deal, in my opinion. Yeah. And that means well into it.
All right. We've heard that before. They're not ready to make the right deal so far. Looks like we're going to continue on the siege. Here's one thing I will say. For the statements and the hype that it was getting, economic D-Day, I haven't really seen too much. I mean, the UAE stopped trade, but I'm not really seeing the United States Treasury announce anything particularly special. So hopefully there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know, but I'm just not sure. I would like to see them announce sanctions on Chinese banks and a lot of other banks around the world that are doing business with the Islamic Republic. I think they should know about them by now. And additionally, before we leave Iran, we will show you this last clip. This man will be telling us, he's in the north of Iran, and he said, today I came to get into my car and I saw something on my windshield. And I thought it was just like an advertisement or something, so I grabbed it. And then when I looked at it and I opened it up, I actually got very, very happy. Come on, open it up for us. He's trying to do it with one hand. There it is. Someone put this on his car. So apparently people are going around putting pamphlets of Prince Reza Pahlavi and the royal family on people's cars inside Iran.
Yeah. This guy was so happy to see that. Like his voice showed that it made his day.
Yep. All right. Now for a juicy piece of news. Yeah.
Before you go there, since you're showing a video that is from inside Iran, by the way, whoever is putting this on people's cars, this is extremely dangerous. This gets the death penalty. I don't know if I showed you. I got another video from inside Iran that I haven't shared yet.
Let's see it.
Okay, have I shown this on the stream yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, so this person was in touch with me from inside Iran, and he was trying to find creative ways to be helpful, and he was asking me for suggestion. So guys, I shared this in the morning segment. I didn't share it here, so that's why I'm sharing it here. So you guys might have, people. Lior is saying we saw that, Armin. I know you, but we didn't see it on this stream. So I wanted to share it here as well. And then he sent me this on Telegram saying that this is what I'm doing, and he was asking me for advice whether like this is the good way. So he's taking money and he's writing on it Javid Shah Pahlavi, and then he's putting a heart and a crown next to it as a way to show that the revolution is alive and going, and people are still supporting Pahlavi. And people are trying to find different ways to show, that there people are, still supporting Pahlavi and advertising it. But it's interesting because when it gets to the final one, it gets interesting. So he's writing on all of them. Look at this. So
I like this. This is very creative.
Yeah, like it's a cute heart and a cute crown. So just to show people, yes. But look, it gets to the last one.
Guys, by the way, Bobby Newman in the chat was like, he's not broke. All that money you're seeing right now is like not even $1. I think all of those were like 50, maybe 50 cents, maybe.
Look at so Ali, he got to the last one, and when he got to the last one, someone else had already written Javid Shah on it, or like pro Pahlavi messages, and then somebody else had crossed it. So he writes another one, and so he writes Javid Shah again, and he also writes Garda Javidan, and then he also writes, "You keep crossing them out, we'll keep writing them again." See?
Ooh.
So
hell yeah.
So it's interesting because it shows that other people were doing this as well. And then they crossed it, and look at this. He says, Javid Shah, Garda Javidan, you keep crossing it out, and we keep writing them.
I like that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So there.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could do that with other currencies, but I think that's actually illegal. So guys, we're gonna give you a juicy piece of news that is in relation to Turkey and Israel. There is an imminent war brewing between these two countries, something that's realized by both countries as well. So we'll begin with Israel Hayom, a very popular Israeli media, saying that Jerusalem has studied not only how NATO's Article 5 operates, but where it applies. The treaty protects Turkish territory. Turkish troops do not carry that territory with them onto Syrian or occupied Cypriot soil. Take a guess at what that means. Well, for a large portion of the past few years, Turkey has occupied parts of northern Syria, about 5 to 10% of the country. They've also occupied about half of Cyprus here. So you can see these lines, these dotted lines, that's Turkish territory right there. What they're saying is that that's occupied Cyprus and that's occupied Syria. If the Israelis were to conduct strikes on Turkish troops outside of the borders of Turkey, they do not invoke NATO Article 5. NATO does not have to come and help Turkey. In fact, they have no grounds to at all. That is the first step that marked escalation here. It's something that everyone is talking about, this Israel Hayom post, along with the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu's office released this statement in this video. We'll show you guys what this is. They're saying Turkey moved to expand its military presence in Syria. Israel detected the threat and acted before it escalated, which is great, by the way. I'll show you guys the video in just a second, but before we do, let's give you guys some context. This video is from today. Dozens of Turkish armored vehicles and tanks rolled into Syria today and has marked a big escalation, particularly when Benjamin Netanyahu said, Erdogan is an anti-Semitic dictator who has massacred Kurds, harbors Hamas terrorists, occupies half of Cyprus, and jails a record number of journalists and politicians who oppose him. He now seeks to extend his aggression against Israel into Syria. Israel will not tolerate it. And, man, it's not looking too good. So let's show you guys this video.
Israel just stopped a security threat inside Syria from becoming something much bigger. Let's take a look at what happened. Since the Syrian civil war, Turkey has embedded itself inside of Syria. It now has a substantial military presence in roughly 5% of Syrian territory. Now, if we look to the south, where Israel's located, by contrast, Israel now holds approximately 0.1% along a border that has threats from Hezbollah and ISIS and other terror organizations, which means that Turkey, that has no threats, is holding 50 times more Syrian territory than Israel. More than a year ago, Israel and Syria reached an understanding to maintain the security status quo and to keep this border calm. Syria breached that understanding. Israeli intelligence identified that Turkish troops were about to deploy at the Abu al-Dahur air base, which is located in northern Syria, which is less than, as you can see, 200 miles from Israeli towns and Israeli communities. Prime Minister Netanyahu made Israel's position very clear. We will not allow Turkey to entrench itself in Syria and to be moving steadily south towards Israel's border.
That is the pretense and the pretext for a potential war here. The Israelis claim that Turkey is expanding and being aggressive, and that is putting Israel in danger, while the Turks found their position as well. The Turkish counter to this claim is that Turkish forces are actually handing over administrative and military control to the Syrian transitional government, and they're relinquishing their presence in Syria. That's completely untrue. So I'm going to side with Israel on this one, flat and clear. Turkey's clearly lying, saying that we're reducing our presence, we're handing over things to the Syrian government. Instead, today they sent dozens of weaponized infantry and mechanized divisions into Syria. Which doesn't make any sense to me. Again, as we told you guys, Turkey will be waiting to see what happens in the Israeli elections that are coming up in just a few weeks here. Is Benjamin Netanyahu going to remain the prime minister? Sorry?
Yeah, quick point. I love that Israel is getting... That was an explainer video by the Israeli government, right?
Yes.
Israel is getting better and better compared to before at creating explainer videos and defending its position, in a very efficient and effective way. They used to not. This was the only thing that they used to not be good at. So I appreciate that.
It's good.
Yeah.
Everyone's keeping eyes on the election, Armin. It's not just we, the people of Iran. Turkey is keeping a close eye on the elections. Is the prime minister that comes after Benjamin Netanyahu potentially going to be a weak prime minister? Can we expand? Can we challenge Israel? Is what Turkey's thinking. And not only that, I mean, potentially a lot of other countries in the Middle East will be doing the same. I don't know. I understand there might be Israelis watching, and I know you guys have your own internal politics, but from my own personal perspective, it seems like Benjamin Netanyahu is probably the best person for what I want to happen regarding Iran. Again, everyone can think what they want. No problem with that.
What about Naftali Bennett, no?
Every prime minister that comes is going to be very pro or against Islamic Republic. It's just a matter of like, are they capable enough? Are they experienced and seasoned enough, as Benjamin Netanyahu is, against this threat? And I understand there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of internal, scandals and domestic issues that he has not done well on. And if I was an Israeli citizen who lives in Israel, I might think differently, but I'm not. And that's why I have my position. Everyone, please feel free to have your own. It's totally fine.
Yeah, Israelis, let us know in the comment. What do you guys think about who's like? I know you guys vote for, based on so many other things, obviously, but when it comes to strength against the Islamic Republic, who is the best? Who is the best person as prime minister in Israel?
Yeah, we could look at a lot of different stuff happening there. Oh, lastly, with this Syria, Syria's being a proxy of Turkey essentially right now. It's kind of the problem. Turkey is actually pushing Syria to join the Mecca Agreement. That's the agreement that Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Turkey signed. They're pushing Syria really hard to join it. So the Syrian foreign minister today said, we don't have a decision right now whether to join or not to join the alliance, but we will make one soon. All right, so let's go into this report by Visegrad. Ladies and gentlemen, do you remember that Spain got overrun by immigrants from Morocco? You won't believe what Spain is doing. Instead of kicking them out, and yes, these are police. Look at them. That's Spanish police right there on the left. Spain is now, I kid you not, okay, prepare your ears for this. Spanish police are now moving tens of thousands of illegal immigrants to makeshift camps and better equipped temporary migrant camps built and funded by Spain. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Spain built these migrants camps and are moving them into the camps instead of kicking them out. That surely is going to make that surely that's going to let them, that's going to make them want to leave. I'm sure they're not going to want to stay even more after that.
Why?
I think it's just, like, how can you? I feel like even a child would be able to make a better decision. I don't know.
Why? Can I see the caption on that video?
Yeah. This is Visegrad 24. Breaking. Spanish police is moving a large number of illegal migrants in Ceuta from their makeshift camps to a new, better equipped temporary migrant camp built by Spanish authorities. Right. That's not looking too great.
That it's not just about these people. That news is going to encourage so many people to make the journey. This news by itself, yeah.
Sincerely wish you the best if you do live in Spain. We hope you guys, I don't know. Anyway, we have other Spanish news for you guys. Looks like they're doing the double whammy on us. It is with dear regret that I will confirm this to you guys. Okay. The Director General of Economic and Financial Affairs in Iran, in the southern Khorasan province, has confirmed that a Spanish company is now licensed and ready to make their first mining investment in Iran, approved by the Spanish government. So the Spanish government just approved a Spanish company to go into Iran, this IRGC-controlled country, despite U.S. sanctions that just got placed on them, literally yesterday, to go and start a mining operation. I don't know who's running Spain, whether it's the king, whether it's, is there like a, the prime minister, maybe there's a shadow, I don't know, whatever is going on. Clearly they're wanting Spain to get destroyed. I cannot tell you just how bad of an idea this is. President Trump just announced economic D-Day, and the very next day, you just signed a deal with the IRGC to go in and start mining in Iran. I don't understand this. I cannot understand this.
So let me get this
I
straight.
don't know.
So the people who are the government in Spain that accuses United States and Israel of human rights violation, they just gave an economic lifeline to the regime in Iran after the greatest massacre that they did on unarmed civilians, one of the greatest acts of massacre in modern history, with a level of brutality that has never been seen anywhere in the Middle East. They accuse Israel and United States of human rights violations and war crimes, and they just went and released a whole bunch of money to the regime that desperately needs it right after they massacred their own people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And that was reported by, so again, we told you South Khorasan's economic director announced this today. And a lot of media have come out and also reported this as well. Yeah. That's pretty bad.
There needs to be major consequences on Spain, like 100% tariffs. That's what was promised, right? There was promised.
So the Spanish,
this was the Lindsey Graham bill that was passed after his death for Russia and the Islamic Republic. If you go around the sanctions, your country should get 100% tariff. No?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is the Spanish Confederation of Business Organizations. They should get slapped up with sanctions. I mean, yeah.
Tariffs.
And tariffs. Yeah.
So I think sanctions are for the primary target country. 100% tariffs are for whoever violates the sanctions. I think that's how it works.
Yeah. Gotcha. So again, guys, this is Spain doing business with the IRGC. Yesterday was the deal when it was signed. It was also the day that Spain resumed its embassy operations in Tehran. So everything checks out on that front. Pretty disgraceful.
By the way, I do want to say that because a lot of people might say, like, you know what? If this is the position, then they deserve turning into an Islamic hellhole and whatever the consequences of a leftist government or Muslims coming into the country, then you might say they deserve that, right? However, I do want to remind you that most Spanish people did not vote for this government. And most Spanish people
Wait, what?
And most Spanish people did not vote for this government. The parliamentary system, the way it works there, it became the government even though they didn't get this vote.
That's crazy.
And most Spanish people are against these migrants coming in, and they're angry with their government.
Wow.
Yeah. So, we're angry at the government, but there's so many Spanish people that are on our side.
Yeah, I mean, this goes against everything logic and common sense related. So that's how I know the Spanish people are not on that side. Let's go back let's go a little bit up into Germany from Spain, where we have realized a grim reality for the upcoming winter in Europe. This is a chart of Qatar's natural gas exports that go to Europe. What happened after February 26th? Look at those two high bars on the left. Look at that drop off. We are currently in August on the bottom right of this graph, and we are probably at a third or fourth of the capacity it was before. It's summer right now, but we're heading into fall, and then we're heading into winter. And Germany is raising some concerns, saying that we only have about 50% of our gas stores for the upcoming winter filled. They're raising the alarm bells, and they don't know where to buy their energy from, because they're saying, hey, we used to buy it from Qatar and we used to buy it from, the Middle East. We can't anymore. Oh no. Maybe you guys should have done something about it for the past 6 months. Oh well. Guess who is exporting gas and oil right now? The United States of America. Now, Europe is going to have to compete, as we predicted. Europe is now going to compete with Asia on bidding wars to buy American oil and gas. America, who's made over $100 billion in the past 5 months, will now be profiting even more from the closure of the Strait of Hormuz here, keeping prices at just a level where the markets don't freak out worldwide, but just at a high enough level for the U.S. to profit immensely from this situation. I would like to reiterate that I'm actually not in support of that. I am not in support of making the Iranian people suffer just because the United States can make more billions of dollars. Very completely against that. It's very aggravating to me personally. All right. And then for a fun little clip here by Ukraine. This is an Ukrainian MiG-29 jet following a Russian Shahed drone and taking it out. The method at which it takes it out is quite unique here. The jet used its turbulence to mess with the Shahed drone's engine, causing it to crash. Not a single rocket fired. It just comes in, creates some turbulence around the air of the drone, causing it to crash right into that field. That's a new method. It's pretty cool to me. So guys, quickly, we're going to drop into the United States to give you guys a quick update on and talk about the midterms real quick from an Iranian perspective. This is Abdul El-Sayed, the Michigan Democratic nominee. Just quickly right here, this is pure hypocrisy. In this video, he is seen telling people in his office to remove the Quran, remove all the Qurans that he has on his shelf. He doesn't want them when they start filming. Why, you may ask? Armin, can you tell us what a taqiyya is? What does that mean?
So I don't know how much detail you want me to go into, but there are certain
Can you give us
lies in Islam.
like a very brief summary, so like a dumbed down summary so people understand it very easily?
There's two versions of taqiyya. One is the one that Muslim scholars will tell you about to non-Muslims, but the second one is the more problematic one. So the first form of taqiyya is a form of taqiyya that is a lie that you could say to save your life. So if you have to lie to be able to preserve your life, you're allowed to say that lie. It's not a sin, which makes sense. It's a white lie. The second taqiyya is the problem. Second taqiyya is a type of lie that you could say for the sake of defending Islam, for the sake of spreading Islam or preserving Islam. Then that's if you have to lie in defense of Islam, then you could lie.
Well said. So Armin, why would this Muslim, Democratic candidate, why would he tell his camera crew to hide the shelf full of Qurans and Islamic books? Why would he need to do that?
Like,
You want to just
yeah,
listen
I
to what
mean,
he says
play
in the
it.
clip and then
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
me?
listen to it, play it. Yeah, play it.
And the other one.
You're gonna want to not get these things in the shot.
Oh, okay. I
Just
don't
want
think
to
we
wait
did.
in
Yeah.
on it.
Try to keep the shot secular.
Try to keep the shot
Trying to
secular.
keep the
So go
shot
back.
secular.
Secular. So this was part of a documentary, and he didn't know the camera was running. So this obviously didn't make it to the documentary. This was just the camera was running while they were making the documentary or video ad or whatever. And he was telling them to not get these books. And the books that he had in mind are Islamic books. The Quran and the Hadith and the Tafsir books. He said don't include them in the shot. He wanted to give a more secular look. I don't know if this is Takia or him being a politician. Actually, so it could be just politician, yeah. But he is, but it does expose him as two-face, and dishonest.
Hey, let's hide the Quran and Islamic books. Let's make us look secular. Let's get elected, and then we can pull a Mamdani.
Yes. Ali, I don't know if you agree with me, but Mamdani is, to me, him being a communist is a bigger red flag than him being a Muslim or Islam,
Really?
or his Islamic views. I don't know, but I mean, both of them are bad.
Is it because communism has largely been defeated in the West, but now it's making a comeback? But then we already know Islam is already bad, and we're fighting against it.
Because communist ideas are more difficult to, they're even more destructive than Islam. Okay, because Islam kills with violence. Communism kills with poverty, with violence as well, but it kills so much more with poverty. Nothing destroys the roots of the society more than command up down economy, right? And as I say this as somebody who has been fighting Islam for most of my life and considers Islam to be one of the greatest threats against civilization. I say communism is even worse, right? And it has a much better appeal. It's easier to convince people that, hey, don't you want rent freeze? Don't you want free food? Don't you want free healthcare? Like, people are like, yeah, I want that. But it's harder to sell an ideology with a prophet that raped a child, right? And that hates dogs, right? So that is a harder sell. So that's why I think it's more dangerous. Communism is even more dangerous than Islam.
Do you feel like if we were to clone you and make a extreme anti-communist advocate, do you think they would agree with you, or do you think they would say the opposite, where Islam is actually a bigger threat than communism? Just if you had to guess.
If
like you're very anti-Islam. If we took a very anti-communist person, do you think they would agree with you that communism is a bigger threat than Islam?
Yeah,
or
I think they would
say
agree with me
Islam is bigger.
No, because my bias should be that because of my personal bias should be Islam is the worst thing, right? Because my activism has been against Islam. But I'm trying to be objective here. Even though my activism has been against Islam, I recognize that this is even a bigger threat. So I think if my activism was on communism, I would be, because my bias would double down. You're like, yeah, I'm fighting against the biggest threat in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so anti-communists would agree with you that communist is a bigger threat.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm anti-communist because I think so because I'm trying to be objective here.
On the flip side of the table, we have Representative Don Bacon. Now, this person This is what
You
they've
wanna
came
show
out
it?
and said on X.
Oh yeah.
We have Abdul El Sayed on one side, then we have Representative Don Bacon on the other side saying the Iranian people are the most pro-American people in the Muslim world. They also want their freedoms. That's why the Mullah regime murdered over 30,000 of their own people 8 months ago. The best ending in this war is for the people to get their country back. President Trump's goal is to ensure that Iran gets no nukes and keeps the Strait of Hormuz open. Until then, we should strike at the heart of the IRGC and choke their economy to death to destabilize the regime. So these are the two spectrums that you guys can expect here. The Iran topic will be a very big topic in the upcoming midterms. We're going to be all over it.
I can't wait to see your takes, Ali, on that, because I want to see that from your perspective. I don't know. That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. I do want to make I don't know if I'm being nitpicky. This is a really good post. Just let me know if I'm being too nitpicky. Yes, you highlighted. You know exactly what I'm thinking. I don't know if I would consider Iranian people to be in the Muslim world. I think I think the Iranian people, the world that they live in, is the most anti-Islamic world that there could be out there.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah.
He's a little misinformed, but he's got the right idea.
Yes.
The thing that I agree with the most is here. We should strike at the heart of the IRGC. Here's why I don't think we're actually doing that yet. I think in the first week, maybe two of the war, we were really going for regime change there. And then I think we changed our minds. I have a report from you guys, for you guys, from a IRGC soldier himself. By the way, maybe we should show that interview that we had, that we took from the IRGC soldier sometime again. But this is an IRGC soldier. This is from DEJ reports, directly from an IRGC soldier in Iran. Okay. I was an IRGC soldier in Alborz province. This is north of Tehran. In March, and the end of March, my end of training leave ended, and I returned to the barracks to get discharged from service. March, by the way, the war. When I came back to the base, only the skeletons of the buildings were left. I had a real hard time getting my discharge card. He says that because back then we were hitting the bases, we were hitting the police stations, the little, bases that the IRGC had all across Iran and Tehran, and then we stopped doing that. That was when they came to the negotiating table. If we hit them where it hurts and they come immediately to the negotiating table, why can't we just do that again? I get that we're pushing economic D-Day on them, but that's not everything that we can be doing. This can be ended a lot faster. Again, if the strategy here is to just make more money, we can make so much more money by investing in Iran, in a free Iran. I've said this before, I say this again. I don't think that the future of a free Iran is going to be lying in oil and gas money. The future is going to be lying in this region right here. This region. East Iran and Afghanistan and parts of Turkmenistan. That's where the future of Iran is going to be laying in. There are two large mineral reserves in the world. One is here in South America. Certain parts over here, right around here, where the mountainous regions here are. The other is here in eastern Iran and Afghanistan. Oil and gas money, as we are seeing, is losing its value in terms of making a country rich as the ages go by. Rare earths and minerals, however, will be required in the upcoming AI age. So, the faster we are free, the faster that, for example, why Spain is choosing to come and mine here is because of that. The United States can make trillions of dollars, and that is not a number that I'm making up. Elon Musk himself has said there are trillions of dollars waiting in the mountains of Iran. Not my words. Why not act on it? Why not act on it? If you would like to come and invest in Iranian companies, for these mining operations here and also establish CENTCOM, what a better win. China's right there. CENTCOM right here. Oh my God. We'll take care of everything here. We, Iran, you guys want to post up here? That's fine. Use our industry and our economy to mine. That's fine. But let's get this over with. Anyway, I'm done. That's my part. And it's also not like we don't have the intellectual capital. I mean, Iranians are among the most intelligent and accomplished intellectually in the world. We're very educated. Cute dog.
Can I? Oh, sorry, wrong button.
No.
Hey, now I want to say hi. She was knocking at the door. Oh,
Very cute.
okay. So that's Nala, and then Poochie. Poochie.
Aw.
Yes.
So cute.
Just today they were here, so just want to say hi. Okay, now they want to go.
It's very cute of them. All right. Shall we get into the super chats then? Just quickly
Yes.
take a look. Third night in a row that Israel is hammering Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Still, the IRGC aren't doing anything. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Jay Slack became a YouTube member. Welcome on board, and thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Thank you. Welcome.
And Beach Kid, thank you for the jewels.
Thank you.
And Nail Bunny with the first super chat says, hello, Durud and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Like the stream.
Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for the super chat. And our next one is from Fizz Andricist, who says, no freeloading, folks. Like and subscribe. Yeah, guys, subscribing would be a huge... You guys should consider subscribing. That would be great. Thank you, Fizz. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you to everybody who's already liked. Thank you.
Our next one is from Justin, saying, that's it. That's the sign. We're headed for World War, guys. If Besant targets China's banks, that's the sign. Oh. I mean, I feel like there's still, some stops you can put in place here. But could be. I just don't think the Chinese will go to war over the Islamic Republic.
Yeah. Because China can't afford to go war against the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin.
I mean, China can't afford to go to war with Taiwan, I think, even, let alone the United States. But thank you, Justin.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. And our next one is from Joanne, who says, can't wait for Alligrams today. Hope you liked it.
They're the best. Let's hope they don't shut down that group. Ali, if they shut down that group, if they shut down that group, you're responsible for it.
I might be. They're saying, oh, the admins go in and they delete hundreds of messages, by the way, the ones that are really anti-Islamic Republic. So they are considering just closing down the entire forum. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you, Joanne. Let me know if you had a favorite one. And Sarah Ocean says, washed my mouth out with soap. No more swearing. Did it work? Or did you... Let us know. So thank you, Sarah, for the super chat.
What did you say? What did you? Now I'm curious. What did you say?
I think I showed like some the Durka video or something like that, and she's like, "Oh, I can't swear at them anymore. I can't." Thank you for the super chat.
I mean, you're Iranian. How could you not swear?
Saying yes, it worked. Okay. Our next one is from First Fall 2. Says, does Islam allow guns to be stored in mosques?
Oh, Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Think of the wildest thing you could possibly think of. If that's what's required, it is allowed.
But that's not even a sin. So sins are allowed. If you need, so what Ali is pointing to is that when you need to preserve Islam and Islamic rule, you could actually do things that are considered a sin, right? That's what Ali is referring to. This is not even a sin.
This is something that's actually very common.
Yes. I mean, it's a holy thing. The guns in defense of Islam are considered holy. So you're putting a holy thing into another holy thing. Wait, that sounded weird. Never mind.
You know, think about this. All the mosques that you guys see in all the Islamic centers around the US and Europe, have you guys actually been in there to see what's going on? Do you go into those private rooms to see what they say and what they do? No, you don't. There's a lot that goes on in there. And thank you, first of all. Completely allowed somehow. And Sarah Ocean says, more sparks every day. It's only a matter of time. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Agreed.
Again, Armin, we're only a month away from the Iraqi militias having to disarm. 1 month.
Yeah, that's why Ghalibaf was in Iraq.
Yeah. And again, guys, we're saying things are going to kick off faster than September 30th because why would you wait for the enemy to come knocking on your door? And we know that the U.S. is not going to back down. The Iraqi militias have said repeatedly they're not going to back down and disarm either. It's a waiting, ticking time bomb. Then the Iranian people with all their economic problems, yeah. And Sarah also says, in free Iran, name every mosque Elon Musk. I never thought about that.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay, Dad.
I got to remember that from now on. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that super chat. I got to remember that. Okay. Our next one is from Tractor, who says economic isolation alongside with ground operation. Yeah, if you mean the southern coast, at this point, they might not even need to. Did you guys know, Armin, Rajai port, the port that processes 90% of the cargo shipping in Iran, I took a look at some pictures, empty. It's completely empty. It used to be, you couldn't even you couldn't throw like a rock and have it hit open ground. There was full of containers everywhere. And now it's just like, there's nothing there. I'm concerned that the U.S. Marines are going to storm the shores of Iran and find nothing to take. There's just nothing there. Everything's gone already. Thank you, Tractor. And oh, look at this. Oh, I'm heading back to Armin's chat, but that was gold. Yeah, apparently gold's not a good enough for you, huh? Okay.
Well, you're a traitor, so that's why she's coming back.
She is, yeah, she is a traitor.
No.
And our next one's from First Fall 2, saying Bering Strait, Alaska. Oh, well, I guess that's what the Islamic Republic analyst was saying they should drop mines on. How are they going to get to Alaska? I mean, oh, they can't. That's why he was saying we have people all over the world that would do this for us. Right. And First Ball also says Straits of Mackinac Mitch. Where's that?
Didn't know about
or
this.
Mitch, like Michigan? Oh, in the Great Lakes. Oh.
Somehow I doubt closing those is going to cause much economic devastation for the United States.
Yeah.
It's not like they're international like trade routes that the United States is. But these are
That's
interesting.
the best they got.
Good to know. You know, your First Fall knows her geography.
Thank you, First Fall, who also said yes, confirming that. And our next one is from Joanne, says, Armin, does your goat have a name?
Mr. Goat.
Mr. Goat.
Yes. Yes. Very
Gotcha.
great.
Well, there you go, Joanne. Joanne, I mean, what would you name that? I don't know. Let me know. Thank you, Joanne. And our next one is from Jay Dealing Fire. Says IRGC has finally met their match with Trump and they are crumbling. Time for a permanent exit. Allah isn't coming to help. Pahlavi will. Javid Shah.
Javid Shah.
Javid Shah.
Javid Shah.
Permanent
Love the
exit would be
profile
great.
picture. Yes.
Yeah, that's the U.S. Marine on board of the forgot the name of the IRGC ship, but yeah, they seized that a couple months ago. Sweet. Thank
That's
you,
a
JD.
beautiful message. Beautiful message, beautiful profile picture, and thank you, and Javid Shah.
Thank you very much. And Kimberly says, "Congrats, Ali. You are the daily winner."
Yes, you
Joanne
are.
saying Ali won.
won
Amir
today.
keeping the tracks to
Yes.
13-7. Is it 13-7 or 12-7? I think 13-7.
So I think it's 37, but I think Nailbody might have tried to sneak one away. No, I'm just kidding.
Ah. No, yeah, yeah. Wow. Look at that. You're a staunch supporter saying 12-7.
No, I misunderstood what was happening. Never mind. No shit. No, 13-7. No, I thought she would remove one from you, but no, it's okay. I misunderstood what was happening. I shouldn't have.
Guys, we're still a week. We're still 6 days off. We're losing. He's winning by 13-7.
Yeah, winning by 6.
I think we got to catch up for the rest of the week. I don't know. And our next super chat.
Getting cocky, guys.
Our next super chat says, Armin Habibi, why did Goldie block you? I don't understand why anyone would do that.
I'm so glad that you said that, because not only this is a great opportunity. Thank you for being such an ineffective troll, because I almost forgot to share this with people, because not only Goldie has not blocked me, Goldie and I went on a panel with each other. We were on Newsmax, and Goldie was so proud of me and my performance here, and she also shared our Newsmax interview. So now that you reminded me of that, I am going to share it with you guys, because and by the way, thank you, Amir and others who sent me the link and the timestamp for this. So let me just share this.
Going to bring in our panel now.
Wait, I think I didn't share the audio. Let me share it again. Let's share it. There we go. I think now that has audio.
Iranian political analyst and founder of Liberty Politics, Armin Navebi, and Goldie Gamari, a political analyst and human rights defender. Welcome to you both. Good to see you. I want to start with this. President.
By the way, guys, I decided to introduce me, to get them to introduce me as founder of Liberty Politics, so they come and find you guys, right? So instead of like my resume and everything, is founder of Liberty Politics, so that when people hear it, it basically brings people to Liberty Politics YouTube channel. So that's a reference to all of you.
And human rights defender. Welcome to you both. Good to see you. I want to start with this. President Trump's threat to bomb Oman if the country interferes with fully reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Trump reportedly wants Iran to surrender. So is that a possibility even in the long term? And is Oman getting in the way of negotiations? Goldie, what do you think?
President Trump is many things, but he's not a bluffer. So I would take President Trump incredibly seriously. And, I think that the world needs to know that anyone who supports the enemies of the United States, well, they're putting their citizens at risk. And, Oman has always secretly been an ally of the Islamic regime occupying Iran. And I'm actually grateful that President Trump is calling out this behavior and, actions of consequences. And if you support a terrorist organization that is currently threatening Americans, then there should be consequences for those actions.
Yeah, and
look at this. Goldie highlighted this comment, the best panel.
Reports show today that Iran will shift its policy from defensive.
Look, Goldie is highlighting these comments. My two favorite people. Thank you, Goldie.
to fully offensive because no agreement has been reached for a permanent end to the war with the U.S. But that's not all. The Wall Street Journal reporting saying behind the scenes, Iranian officials planned in secret to escalate the war after June's memorandum of understanding was signed. The report states that Iran for the last 2 months has been gearing up for a larger war. So Armin, I mean, that being said, is Iran ever going to agree to peace? It sure doesn't seem so to me.
Never. And this has not been a secret. Everybody who's been paying attention to the Islamic Republic knows that from the very foundation of the Islamic Republic 48 years ago, their goal was always to wage war against the United States, and basically global domination is their plan. So any ceasefire or agreement is just a temporary pause for them to be able to regroup and recover and then fight again. The White House has found a very effective way right now to put a lot of pressure on them. And as Goldie said, any way that the Islamic Republic tries to find to go around that, Washington is aggressively responding to it, and they're suffocating the Islamic Republic right now, and it's causing a lot of financial hurt and internal division. The only thing that would also be able to, we could add to that would have a huge impact on the downfall of the Islamic Republic right now would be arming the Iranian people and doing it under the leadership of Princess of Pahlavi to make sure that we don't arm the wrong people.
Yeah, and Goldie, on the geopolitical stage, what does this mean if Iran really isn't backing down at all?
Well, essentially what this means is right now we're seeing the war of words escalating to, I believe, what's going to be another kinetic movement, because ultimately, when it comes to the Islamic regime, you can't negotiate with them. As Armin said, and I agree 100%, this is a Islamic dictatorship that was founded on the core pillar of destroying Western civilization, and that includes the United States. So, how can anyone ever come to peace with a dictatorship that literally yells death to America? And, the Islamic regime, they're putting out posters encouraging people to, God forbid, assassinate President Trump. So, this is just the level of savage barbarians that these people are. And ultimately, if their lips are moving, they're lying. And this is why we Iranians are saying, don't negotiate with the Islamic regime. Help the Iranian people end them and allow us to reclaim our country so that after 47 years of this Islamic occupation, we can be free again and go back to being the ally that we were with the United States prior to the Islamic regime taking over in 1979.
Yeah, and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, he threatened to put Iran in economic isolation. Armin, he said, like the world has never seen before. New measures are expected this week. Armin, do you think this added pressure will become Iran's breaking point, especially as we know their economy is on the brink here?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's not going to go all the way. Obviously, going all the way would require also arming the Iranian people, but it's having a huge impact. Both the blockade on the Iranian ports and the amazing ways that the Operation Economic Fury is working right now under the leadership of Scott Bessent is having a huge impact. If you actually pay attention to what's happening inside Iran and the media and the Islamic Republic media.
Look at this. Goldie commented this, highlighted this comment. Durka Whisperer and Durka Slayer together back in action, and she was laughing when she highlighted.
You could see that they pay attention to what's happening.
Look at her smiling. Oh, that's
happening inside Iran and the media and the Islamic Republic media. You could see that they're finally admitting that this is very, very painful, and they are actually now admitting that this is the Americans being successful at the isolation of the Islamic Republic. So the impact is huge, and I think many people outside of Iran are not noticing how big of an impact this is having on the foundation of the Islamic Republic.
Armin and Goldie, a pleasure to be with you both. Thank you both so much for weighing in today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let me see if Goldie says anything.
That was such an amazing experience, guys. Honestly, I'm so proud of Armin. I'm so proud to see him all over, mainstream media and mainstream news. He 100% deserves it, right? Like 100%. Like he's been advocating for, a free Iran, and he's, been a huge voice for Israel and the United States, and, a huge voice for patriotism for so long. So, just so great to see him all over mainstream media. We had a quick conversation after, actually. I messaged him, and you know, he was like, I have a great teacher, but guys, I have to say, I responded and I was like, well, obviously your teacher isn't good enough because you're still not wearing a blazer in your interviews. So those of you who know, know what I'm referring to. But no, so proud of him, and that was an excellent panel. And you know, guys, I really enjoy doing this. I've actually, you might not know this, but I've worked with a lot of various
Yeah, so she told me, good job, Armin. That was really good. You're getting, and I told her, like, I told her in response to her, and WhatsApp, I told her, like, yeah, because I had a good teacher, like, because, you know, performing better at, you know, when I get invited, and that was Newsmax, by the way, so that's a big deal. But she's like, nope, you still haven't learned. You're still not wearing a blazer. You know, I'm gonna get a blazer. I'm gonna get a blazer, guys. I'm gonna do it. But thank you, Goldie. That was so sweet. That was so sweet. Yes.
That's great to see.
Yes.
Also, you answered really well.
Yeah, I did. You feel so?
Yeah, very, very concise, very well spoken.
Yes. That's what I learned from Goldie when it comes. I didn't, you know, I used to want to explain so much. I spoke so fast, talked about things that people wouldn't understand because I'm used to doing like long streams where I get the chance to explain things to people. But then Goldie told me how to fix it, and I fixed it. So, yeah. Yes. And thank you to that troll for reminding me to show that to you guys. So thank you to that Jew-hating troll in the chat who thought that he could get me with this with that comment, but in effect, it made me realize that I haven't yet shown this to you guys. So,
and they're awfully quiet after you showed that interview.
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Let's continue on with the super chats. Thanks for showing us that. Guys, we have a funny little clip to show you afterwards about Chinese robots. Kevin Shaw, thank you for the membership gift for Liberty Politics. Really appreciate that. And thank you for your service.
Kevin always supporting us. Thank you. Always here, always supporting us. Thank you, Kevin, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Kevin. And Nail Bunny says 381 watching, 138 likes. Please like the stream.
Yes.
Guys, did you like the stream yet?
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure you have. I'm sure. We don't need to tell you to like the stream, right? You guys already know what to do. Right? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And Nail Bunny also said, sorry, Armin, I was on a train. Oh, it was like 5 super chats in a row. Okay. Sorry, Armin, I was on a train. I took a taxi home, took out my laptop in time to see Ali gets confetti. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you, Nail Bunny, for the super chats.
Thank you. And thank you for making us reach confetti. Thank you, Nail Bunny.
Woo. We did it. Team Ali. And Elaine, thank you for the 5 Liberty Politics memberships. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you, Elaine.
A cute little dog with the toy in his mouth.
Oh, is that a toy or is that a tongue? I think it's a tongue out.
Is it a tongue? Oh, I thought it was a little ball.
I don't know. And thank you, Elaine.
Thank you, Elaine. And Justin, who says they have to get a nuke to get out of this. Once China and Russia figure out their only way out of this is if Islamic Republic gets a nuke, then this is going to be for real. We better watch China and Russia like a hawk. I don't think they'll give a nuke to the Islamic Republic. I'll be honest. I really don't think that's going to happen. That would massively derail the plans that they've set in place for years, because then the world will be thrown into like this completely unpredictable variable is going to be thrown into the center. Then a bunch of other countries are going to have to start getting nukes, and that's going to be escalation.
Yeah, China and Russia don't actually want the Islamic Republic to have nukes. They'd rather have it as a anti-American weaker state that they could use as a proxy. If it has a nuke, it would become a problem for them as well.
But I do agree that you need to watch China and Russia like a hawk. That is for sure true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Justin, for the super chat. Our next one is from James Moore.
Thank you,
He
James.
says, currently, there is a much larger conflict and a siege withholding all work and effort in my kitchen. I am considering the nuclear option. How do I get my 20-year-old and teenage sons to just put stuff in the dishwasher? Oh.
Take away something that they like whenever they don't. instead of lecturing them. Just like,
guilt trip them.
No,
Be
no,
like,
no.
"Oh,
Don't get
man,
into arguments. Don't get into arguments. There's a make it binary. You do, yeah. You do this, I do this. No arguments. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm not going to lecture you guys. I'm not going to argue with you guys. When this happens, these are the consequences, and it's a very specific rule, right? When this happens, this goes away, and I'm not even going to talk about it. No arguments. Don't negotiate. Don't negotiate with terrorists.
Right. You can also, what would probably work is if you guilt trip them, just be like, "Oh man, I'm so like I'm tired all the time, and I got to put your guys' dishes into the dishwasher," and just say stuff like that. Don't tell them to do anything. I feel like that'll actually have the opposite effect. As a teenage boy myself, I'm just letting you know.
No, that's too much work, right? If you get into arguments with your children, then you're going to basically say, you have to do psychological manipulation, argument, drama, just simple rules. When this happens, I will do this. If you don't want that to happen, then don't do that. Done.
Well, there you go, James. Or you can make them use paper plates. Just put a stack of them on the counter. Tell them no plates. Thank you for the super chat, James. Our next one is from Amy, who says, Sayed is one of the ones I go after every day because this is my state and it is worth fighting for. Well, I think I know who you're voting for, or you're not voting for, Amy, in Michigan, which is great. Yeah, that guy should not win. Communism and Islam should never win in America, ever. Although they already did in New York.
Yeah, guys, go and vote because it's really a toss-up, and he has a high chance of winning. Let me see, Michigan.
I thought he was projected to lose now. No,
it was getting better, but now it got worse. So let me show you.
Dang.
Let me show you his odds. So, guys, Michigan, vote. I mean, everybody, go vote. So here's Michigan, Abdul El Sayed and Mike Rogers, Republican, Abdul El Sayed, DSA candidate, Democrat. So things were going in the right direction. So Abdul started with 84% chance. Mike Rogers was at, 15%, but the gap was closing. We got all the way down to 56% chance for Abdul El Sayed and 45% for Mike Rogers. But now the gap is increasing again. So now we're back up to 64% for Abdul and Mike Rogers. But still, guys, there's still time, right? Till November. So we have to change these odds.
Yeah.
Don't just vote. Don't just vote. Advocate. Go out there and basically warn people about what a disaster this is. Guys, we are, Ali and I are Iranians, okay? There are a few people in the world who have paid a higher price than us Iranians for Islam and communism, right? So this is a disaster. Like this is the first time somebody with Islamic values and communist values at the same time is going to make it into the Senate. We already have people like this in Congress, but in the Senate is a much bigger deal. So this would be a disaster if this guy makes it in the U.S. Senate. So go out to vote. We Iranians, we lost the whole country to these ideas. So don't make Don't make our mistake. Go protect your
To a
country.
small percentage, very small percentage of these people, just a few of them.
It doesn't exactly, Ali. It doesn't take that much for these people to be able to make massive changes. They don't have to be 50%. They could make
Yeah.
major changes with 4 and 5%.
Yeah. Thank you, Amy, for that super chat. Our next one is from Steve Dixon, who says, "Inja chaqad divune dare." Like, why are there so many crazy people here? This is a proxy war between the Democrats and Republicans. That means Prince Reza Pahlavi
Sure.
dominates versus Bernie Sanders, or Shah Reza dominates versus Bernie Sanders. We must frame it this way to defeat the IRGC amongst the Americans who are not on our side.
So I think what Steve is trying to say is that a vote for the Democrats is a vote for IRGC. I think that's what he's trying to say, right? Yes.
It is. It is.
Steve, did I get that
Absolutely.
right? Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah.
That is true.
I think that's what it is. I mean, and this is not an exaggeration. You have to think, why does the Islamic Republic want the Democratic Party to win? And anybody from the Democratic Party, they have to ask themselves, like, this should be a moment of self-reflection of how do we get to the position where the main enemy of the United States wants us to win? Like, are we actually a party for America if the main enemy of America wants us to win? And Steve just confirmed in the chat that yes, that's what he means.
Thank you, Steve, for the super chat.
Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for your super chat.
And our next one is from Nail Bunny, who says it's harder to justify Islam because it's written down. Fools keep believing communism will work because they want to believe a utopia is achievable.
Yeah, actually, you're right, because at least with Islam, there's a scripture that we could keep going back to and be like, this is what this represents. And look how violent disgusting this is. But communism can be rebranded, and every time it gets defeated, it could come back with different forms and different packaging. And to make itself not look like communism, but it's communism. So that's a good point. That's a very good point. At least with Islam, even if they try to reform, we were like, well, let's open your book. Let's open your scripture, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Neil Bunny. Great point.
Thank you.
And Joseph, thank you for the jewels.
Thank you.
Amy says, dogs are totally halal in my world. Yeah, my world too. I think.
Yes. They're more than halal. But yes, guys, halal doesn't mean you can eat them. Okay, halal means they're permissible. Okay.
Yeah, or pure.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
And Firejack with the 5 gifted memberships for my channel. Thank you very much, Firejack. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Firejack.
Yeah, I think Firejack was also had to go through a hurricane recently as well. A lot of hurricanes here in the U.S. Thank you for that gift. And Justin, who says, don't forget why Japan went to war against the United States, fellas.
Because of oil. Because the United States was not letting them get their oil.
Hopefully it ends differently. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate that.
Okay, so I don't know how popular this opinion here is in the chat. Some people are going to get offended. I think the nukes that were dropped in Japan saved Japanese lives. Is this an unpopular opinion here in the chat? Let me know if this is you agree with me or not. The nuclear bombs that were dropped in Japan saved thousands and thousands of Japanese lives.
Because if they didn't, they wouldn't have surrendered and kept fighting, which would have caused more of them to die. Yeah.
Because it ended the war.
Yeah.
Okay,
I see.
people agree, actually. Okay.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
And Agent Anderson with a super chat says, "Wah, Israel kills children," quote unquote, as in making fun of people who say that. Only ones who would
the
grow
Jew
up to,
haters. He's making fun of the Jew haters ID.
yeah, making fun of the troll, saying only ones that would grow up to mass murder Israelis and Jew worldwide would say that. So no big whoop as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, saying basically, of course, you know, trolls and anti-Israelis would say things like that Israel kills children. Of course, it's nothing new.
Israel never kills children. Never kills children. And every single child, actual child, that died in Gaza because of Israel's bombardments, every single one of them has been murdered by Hamas. And Israel has not targeted a single child. A single child. Prove me wrong. Every single child that died in Gaza from Israeli bombs was murdered by Hamas. They were there to die. They were put there to die by Hamas, and Israel did everything in its power to avoid killing them. And Hamas did everything in its power to make that difficult for Israel.
The IDF just released a video yesterday saying that we suspect Hamas is interrogating and torturing Palestinian or Gazan citizens in this specific hospital. I forgot the name of it, but it's in Gaza. They released that yesterday. Prime example of what you're talking about. Thank you, Agent Anderson. And our next one is from James Moore saying the goat's name is Muhammad. We get new ones every day.
Okay. Okay.
That was a good one.
Good.
Thank you, James Moore.
Really
See, another thing I got to remember too. And our next one is from Bill Kennedy saying, why haven't sleeper cells been activated? They have. You want to see one?
Oh, really? I don't think they have that many, honestly. Might have a few.
Look at this, Bill Kennedy. Oh, God, that's not the right one. There we go.
Ooh, go trophy. What is
Do you see this?
Oh, my God.
I'm not even kidding. This lady went to Home Depot and bought bomb components to build a bomb to then destroy the New York Capitol, and was arrested by the FBI. There's now a U.S. versus. By the way, her name is Jessica Bowie. She's a white American who got indoctrinated by ISIS Islam, and then went and, I kid you not, I read the whole thing. She said word for word, what's the use in just building a bomb to kill one or two people? No, it needs to be done where you can do maximum damage. So she went to the New York Capitol, was trying to set up a bomb there. This was one of, I think, 5 times that she went around the Capitol and took pictures of everything to see where she should build the bomb the best. Not kidding. Then she said, after this, I wanted to flee to Syria to join ISIS as a hero.
Oh my God. Okay. Didn't know. I knew about this story. I knew that, by the way, she's a white convert. She had no connection to Islam. She had no connection to anything. And then she became Muslim, and she pledged allegiance to ISIS. And then she wanted to do a terrorist attack, and she got arrested before she could do it. So, I mean, I don't think she's a sleeper cell, because
mentally ill.
Yeah. I mean, sleeper cell means that, you know, somebody somewhere sent you there on a mission. So you had orders from somewhere else, and then you were just waiting to be activated. she's just, I don't know. I have so many things to say. I'm stopping myself from saying it. So she was a white convert to Islam from she's not a migrant. She's just born in the United States to a white family and just converted to Islam and became ISIS. And then obviously this is not connected to the Islamic Republic because it's ISIS. It's not like any Shia stuff. But okay. I didn't know she's that big.
Yeah, she was.
Maybe she's trying to starve America. Here's the thing though. But do we actually have that many sleeper cells by the Islamic Republic? Inside the United States, or has that been exaggerated?
I think yes. I think yes, but it's not the way that they would just suddenly pick up a gun and start, bombing places and shooting people. It's all the money laundering operations. I think those are the bulk of the sleeper cells.
Yes. Oh, it's not Fatty Commando, it's Fatty Commando. Okay, yes. I get it. So,
I don't know. I feel like she should have stayed asleep instead of waking up and activating. Yeah, Bill Kennedy. Most of the sleeper cells are going to be money laundering, white collar crimes by the Islamic Republic. Very few of them will actually be like a physical danger, although the ones that are should be taken very seriously. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. Our next one is from Nathan Jesse Hoffman saying, is there any possible deal that leaves the regime in power that the United States would accept? If so, what would that deal look like?
I can't imagine one. I think there might be a deal that the Islamic Republic might hope that it will keep it in power, but it will cause their end eventually. So yeah. I would say I can't imagine one. I mean, can you, Ali?
Yeah. So I'll say it. You guys tell me how realistic you think it is. This is the only way, in my opinion. The Islamic Republic gives up its ballistic missiles, reduces the range. They allow Americans to come inside Iran, make sure that the ballistic missiles are reduced. The nuclear program is finished. The uranium is removed. Americans come in to make sure all of that happens. The proxies, no more proxies. And the Islamic Republic can never pursue weapons of mass destruction, and they got to change their ways of being anti-U.S. If all of that happens, then the U.S. is perfectly fine with it, I think. You guys let me know how realistic that would be.
It's basically a surrender deal.
But just, Nathan, always remember, even if the United States were to make any sort of deal with the Islamic Republic, the Iranian people will never accept that. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, just the nuclear stuff, just like even with the nuclear stuff, if the Islamic Republic agrees to any of that, that would be the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Nathan. Great question, by the way. I like questions like that. Thank you, Trish Hawks, for the jewels. Appreciate that. And Bonehead, who says, we will never forget both you and Goldie during the war. I know there is different necessity for your streams, but keep the ties and work together. Ali Arrival has been fantastic for this new chapter. Thank you, Bonehead. Yes. I'll keep at it.
Ali is a rising star. Just like Goldie. Yes. Guys, I predicted that Goldie, before Goldie started, I predicted that Goldie's going to make it big. So now I'm going to predict that about Ali as well.
Jeez.
I mean, okay. I have already predicted it.
I hope so. I mean, I don't know. But if we can get big, then we can actually influence so many more people. Half of the job, I feel like, is just getting Iran to be free, and then the other half is showing Iran to the world, the actual real Iran, and undoing so many years of propaganda. Like, it hurts me so much when I hear when the Syrian foreign minister says, "Oh, it's not blah 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 bombing us. It's Iran bombing us." And in my head, I'm like, it's not Iran bombing you, it's the Islamic Republic. but people in other countries don't see it that way. They just see Iran is doing all this. That hurts me every time I hear that.
Yes, and
Thank
of
you
course,
so much,
great
Bonehead.
advice, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Ali, before you
Yeah.
highlight the next super chat, I just want to say to my mods that we now have 4 ban-worthy rules in our chat. Okay, I just decided today that there's going to be 4, right? So, spamming to the point that the chat becomes unusable. Number 1, defending PDF files. You know what I'm talking about, and promoting it and saying stuff like that. Threats of violence, direct threats of violence, right? And this is the new one to our mods. Because I saw somebody really disrespecting Nail Bunny, and I didn't like it was. I'm like, we're not doing this, okay, in our chat. Okay, so our mods, anybody who disrespects and attacks personally our mods, that is also now a ban-worthy rule in our chat and Liberty Politics. Okay, our mods are spending time and effort to clean up this, to keep our chat clean. So that's also a new rule that we have. We're not going to allow that. Okay, so our mods who are spending, yeah, you guys agree with that? Okay, yeah, fantastic. So we're not going to do that. So that's also banned word. So these are the 4 rules.
Sweet. There we go. Those are great rules.
Okay,
good. Thank you, Bonehead. Our next super chat is from James Moore, saying Sanders has said that he has solidarity with the Iranian protesters against their government. He is on our side, but does not like violence. Sanders is a great idealist. In terms of practicality, no. And he's not really on the side of the Iranian protesters. He says that he is, but he's absolutely not. Unfortunately, sucks that someone has to say that, but does everything they can to keep the Islamic Republic in power. It is what it is.
The Iranian people hate you, Sanders. Shut the F up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're anti-Israel, which is our main ally. You're pro-communism, which the Iranian people hate. Hate. And you make excuses for the worst forces out there, including the Islamic Republic. You have your policies. You support policies that saves the Islamic Republic, and the Iranian people will never forgive you for that. And you are. It's not that we don't like you. You are considered to be our enemy for your defense of the Islamic Republic and for endorsing policies that makes them survive. You, Sanders, Bernie Sanders, are part of the reason why the Iranian people continue to suffer. You and everything that you represent and everything that you stand for is the reason why we're still dealing with the Islamic Republic. So go to hell.
Yeah.
And thank you, James.
Thank you, James. We hope that enlightens you on Senator Sanders. Our next one is from Steve Dixon, who says, previous comment about halal dogs was in response to my suggesting we use Armin's dog to make araq sagi. You got this one.
Wait, what? Previous comment about halal dogs was in response to my suggesting there. Okay, araq sagi is not made with dogs. I don't know what you're talking about. It's okay. Araq sagi has nothing to do. Araq sagi is a drink. It's a very strong alcoholic drink, and just because it has the name dog in it, yes, just because it has the name dog in it, it doesn't mean that it's made with dogs. Okay, it's almost like saying hot dog has dog meat in it. That's what it sounds like. Okay, so stay away, Steve. Stay away from my dogs. Okay, so hands off my dogs. Okay, my baby girls.
No,
okay.
In Iran, the equivalent of moonshine is called dog sweat.
Yes. Yep. Dog sweat, yes. Oh.
And
oh, you want to drink?
Thank you, Steve.
You want to make it drink out of the sweat from my dogs?
Whoops.
Dogs
you for the
don't
super chat,
sweat
Steve.
though. Wait a minute. Dogs don't sweat. That's why they have their
True.
tongue out all the time.
We are
Humans
one of the only
sweat.
animals that sweat.
Yeah, we sweat because we're trying to like cool down with sweat. Dogs don't do that with sweat. They put their tongue out and that's how they cool down. Right? Am I getting this right? Is that correct? Yes.
Yep. And Rico, oh, look at that dog. Thank you for the goat trophy. Got a goat.
Goat trophy. Yay.
Thank you. And our next one is from Nail Bunny, who says, people wanting to believe something is powerful. It's faith because it flies in the face of facts. Islam's just performing rituals to stay out of hell. That's a good summary. Although, yeah, that's a good summary. Islam's just performing rituals to stay out of hell. That's just all it is. Thank you, Nail Bunny.
Yeah, they turn this world that we have, which is the only thing we have, into hell to stay out of their imaginary hell, right? In an attempt to stay out of an imaginary hell, they create hell on earth. They create a real hell to stay out of an imaginary hell. That's what they do.
Yep. And then after we read the super chat, we have some updates for you guys and a couple of things to show you. Thank you, Nail Bunny. Our next one is from James Moore saying, look for businesses that seem to have no business but somehow survive and are run by likely suspects. Could be something simple like a restaurant that is only open on weekends. There's your sleeper cell. Yeah, so if you just go into a restaurant, if you go into a Persian restaurant and they have 20 workers there and not a single customer, and they keep renovating every 6 months, every year, the entire restaurant, that's a money laundering operation. Plain and simple.
You should run it like Mossad. Okay, Mossad, when they made a company to do the pager, they ran the full operation of a business. They didn't just make it seem like they're doing business. They actually did business with customers and everything, and shipping and everything.
Yeah.
Customer care, HR, everything. Secretary.
Jeez. Imagine if someone calls us like, hey, I found something in my pager. It looks kind of weird. Don't worry about it. We'll send you a replacement. Don't just put it back where you found it. Yeah, it was a mix up. Don't worry about it. Don't tell anyone.
Yes.
Thank you, James. Definitely be on the lookout. So Donald Trump is at a rally and he has made a couple more statements. Again, something I don't actually like to hear him say. He said it again. Take a listen.
And we cannot let them have a nuclear weapon. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon, or you'll see some very bad things. So we went down and we stopped them. They'll never have a nuclear weapon. They want to make a deal so badly. We don't even know if we want, because I view the Strait of Hormuz as an American territory right now. It's an American territory.
Yeah, you got to stop saying that. That's it's not a good thing to say. That is not going to help. That's going to be a huge propaganda piece. That's going to help people in the Islamic Republic. Ow, cramped. But anyway, for the second day in a row, a United States jet has squawked the code 7700, which is the code for emergency, as they're operating over the Persian Gulf tonight. It was an Air Force F-35A Lightning that squawked emergency over the United Arab Emirates. Now, it was operating with its transponder off before it started transmitting emergency, so we hope everything's okay on that. And lastly, I really want to show you guys this clip. When I saw it, I just thought, okay, I have to show this to you guys. So can I make this larger? Okay, this is the best we got. This is China, and they're conducting races for different robots. Let's take a look.
Oh,
impressively, it stayed up. Oh, no. Okay. I thought I was. All right. Where is it? There we go. Take a look at this.
That's pretty fast.
Me. Because it's very impressive the way it like stabilized itself, and then of course it had an oopsie. But
so
yeah.
you know what? Imagine you're a criminal and that's a police robot and it's running at you at that speed. Imagine if you imagine you rob the store and then you look back and there's 10 of those running towards you at that speed.
No emotion, no thoughts, just programmed to take you down.
That's the future of policing right there.
Oh man.
Right. That's the first thing that came to
Yeah.
my mind when I saw that. Yeah.
So guys, today we found out a few things like the Somalian pirates, on top of everything, all the other problems that the Islamic Republic has. Somalian pirates are now seizing oil tankers from the Islamic Republic. Saudis are still being hit. There's a massive civil war in Yemen. The Islamic Republic is losing hundreds of $millions a day. In fact, from when we started the stream till now, they have lost several dozen millions of dollars funded to the government. The people are looking for any chance to rise up, and we're actually looking at a potential Israeli strike on Turkish forces in Syria sometime soon, or at least the warning of it. Things are escalating in the Middle East, and they will be so in the months coming forwards. Again, Iraq is going to have a civil war by September 30th. We got 1 month deadline for that. This is the period of calm before the storm, relatively. We got one more super chat from Ian, who says, Armin and Ali, how long do you think it will take for this new economic war to bring down the regime? It's really hard to say, because if the regime just focuses on suppressing the Iranian people, it will always have the money to do that. It actually can always do that. But it's becoming more and more harder for it to do it. So if more people come out and you strike their bases and checkpoints, that's going to be one of the key indicators that we're about to see the downfall of the regime.
Yeah, so the economic war itself will not bring the regime down. What will bring eventually the regime down is the final uprising of the Iranian people against the regime. The economic isolation is weakening the regime, so hopefully we could get to that point faster. So, and to see, that's why it's hard to predict when this would happen. This is why I think as good as this economic isolation is, I think the most important part that is missing is arming the Iranian people. That would escalate things so much more, get us to the finish line so much faster. But this is helping. This is helping a lot. And as much as disappointing it is for us not to be able to give you a timeline, what seems to be true is that if they continue with this economic isolation, in about 3 to 4 months from now, there's going to be extreme level of economic crisis within the Islamic Republic if they just keep at this. So that's something that other analysts and economists are predicting.
Yeah. Okay, so Ian's saying if it leads to an uprising. Okay, so even then, if the economic blockade is still the only thing, I'm not going to say it's not possible. I'm just going to say it's going to incur a lot of deaths amongst the Iranian people, more than perhaps might be worth it. So we're probably going to wait a little bit, see if the United States, like the Iranian people are going to see if the United States is going to come back in. They haven't left the region. Are they going to come back in? Is Israel going to do something?
Yeah, so again, if another uprising will get us closer to the finish line, but another uprising is not necessarily going to guarantee the fall of the Islamic Republic. That's again why I think the Iranian people should be armed, because the next uprising, the next uprisings that we have would have a higher chance of bringing down the Islamic Republic if the Iranian people are armed. But again, here's the thing. What we do know is that we're getting closer to our destination. We don't know how far our destination is and how fast we're moving towards it. We know it's faster than before, and we know that we're moving in the right direction. And I know how disappointing it is for us not to have a timeline, but I think it's a responsible thing to do. And I think like people who are giving timelines are not being honest, or maybe they're overestimating their ability to predict this.
Yeah, giving a time is extremely difficult. Although I do like doing that. Thank you, Ian, for this last super chat.
It is tempting.
Armin, last thing, I missed this today.
Oh.
The UAE condemned Israel. Yeah.
For what?
Show you this. They're here. It's right here. So where is it? Condemns Israel's continued illegal settlement policies in occupied Palestine. They released this 8 hours ago.
You could go ahead. Who cares?
Yeah.
They have to do that. Go. Okay. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
All right, guys, that is everything we got to you guys today. We will be back here tomorrow within 24 hours when we cover the rest of the news. Please make sure you subscribe to get everything. Find us on YouTube mainly. For some reason, my X stream, if you look at the viewers, like what happened to my X live? Look at that.
Oh, let me see. Oh, yeah. What the hell? How did that happen?
I don't know. But if you guys are watching on X, please consider subscribing on YouTube.
Amazing. Guys,
So
follow
weird.
Ali on X. So many people are watching Ali on X. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And thank you.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Yes. And guys, keep swinging at that tree. Where's Samantha's emojis? Guys, keep swinging at that tree. And if you know, you know.
Yeah, Amir said that too. Yeah.
Yeah, Amir said that too. Okay, good. Thank you, Amir. Thank you, Samantha. Guys, well, don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to follow both Ali Soleimani and Liberty Politics on YouTube. And also follow us on X. Armin Nafobi on X. Ali Soleimani on X. We'll see you again same time tomorrow. And until then, I'm Israel Chai.
I'm Israel Chai. Slava Ukrainian.
Cuba Libre. Taiwan
Jayo.
Long live America.
Long live America.
Javid Shah.
Javid Shah.
Payende.
Payende. Iran.
See you guys.